welcome back to more Let's Play Dragon Warrior Monsters. Last time, we explored Great Tree, seeing a bunch of new stuff that opened up after the tree grew from clearing the Gate of Anger. One of such things was a extra Mystic Gate there, or Traveler's Gate. It's always Mystic World and then Traveler's Gate. I always mix them up. But hey, similar ideas, you get the idea. And many other things also opened up, including yet another one down here in the arena, which I showed off briefly for the sheer fact that it's one of my favorite gates for grinding and monster recruitment. I think today we're going to try to clear this gate. We should be more than strong enough. Namely, I know because I did some testing with the boss here. I'll bring it up once we get to it, but I found it very interesting, to say the least. Now, otherwise, Mac is still a lone wolf, and we've been working on our Gulp here to eventually breed with Dran to then become an Andreal, which we will then probably make into a Metal Drac, and then from there, we have a lot of unique things we can do with a Metal Drac. There's quite a few good things. Now, I'm not sure what we'll end up ultimately doing with the Metal Drac, but just having them will be a darn good start. Now, otherwise, too, looking at all of our items, we don't have a ton, but I think will be more than sufficient to get started. So, caution to the wind, in we go. Now, this gate, if you remember from last time when we were showing it off, is host to some pretty darn good monsters, two of which I kind of want to go out of my way to catch. Ideally, I at least want to get Mad Candle, if nothing else. Eventually, we'll be coming back here quite a bit to recruit Medusa Eyes, because they're just useful. Plus, a lot of the monsters here are a fairly high level. So, I really like using this gate as a wonderful way to not only train, but to get items and pretty good breeding monsters, all things considered. Plus, as you can see, Aqua can kinda handle fights all on her own. They give good EXP, the floors are generally short, so I find this place is just one of my favorites. It's a great intermediary dungeon. Now, otherwise, let's take a look around here and see what we can find. Like an extra pork chop. It'll be very useful, seeing as we plan on trying to do some recruiting. Now, I will say, too, with these floors, they can either be really small, like this, and you can just blow through here, or you can get really unlucky and find a lot of tough floors with traps, or even trap floors that have, like, the conveyor belts or other things like that. Now, ideally, as we're exploring, also I think I'm going to use this defense seed on Aqua, just because, why not? But back to what I was saying. As we are exploring, we do want to be a little careful to conserve our MP, just because it's going to be rough if we get to the upcoming boss and don't have MP. It's not because they're especially tough or have good spells or abilities. No, it's more that the fight will just take forever without magic attacks. So, I want to try to make sure we have plenty. Otherwise, too, the boss actually does a fair bit of damage for this point in the game, so even with as high of defenses as we have, we'll still probably be taking a fair bit of damage. So having plenty of healing from Mac is going to be imperative. The other big thing, too, that I really, really, really want to find is a floor that we can save our game on. Because, um, this boss is incredibly unique, and it's the reason I did a bunch of testing. This is one of the only bosses in the entire game whose gender is completely random. I fought it 4 different times. Every single time, its gender would flip-flop. So I've gotten male, I've gotten female, I got female again, then male. It's completely random. I tried changing party member slots, having a girl in the lead, a boy in the lead. It's just random. So it must be the destiny for us to meet this priest, but I'm really hoping that we find a floor we can save that's close to the boss, relatively speaking. Because otherwise, we might kind of get screwed over. Because ideally, I think what I want to do is I want to breed Gant, who is the Gigantes that we went very, very out of our way to recruit, with this boss. In order to do that, if you remember, Gant was male, so we need a female. Now, in the event this doesn't happen, it's going to be a headache for me. But hey, at least Matt gains a level. He's level 16. He gains 8 HP, 3 MP, 9 attack, 8 defense, 3 agility, 3 intelligence, and learns beat. His heal more also becomes heal all, extremely useful. Though beat, it can beat it. Take our nice, quick, free heal. So thank you, Mr. Priest. Yeah, ideally, I'm really hoping... You explored down here, right? Yeah, okay, it's just a lot of water. I'm really hoping to find that floor to save, just because it's gonna make life a lot easier. Now, the lucky thing is that at the very least, this boss will always be recruited. So we don't need a boatload of treats, but we will need some luck actually recruiting them. That's the problem. The other problem here, and I'm hoping they go for the Mad Gopher, is, like I said, I really want to get a Mad Candle. Doesn't look like they're going to go for that, though, which is a problem. Worst case, we can just do a couple more fights on this floor, trying to find a more ideal setup. But getting a Mad Candle would be good. Namely, because with the Andreal, in order to make a metal track, we need a material, and we don't have that kind of monster. At least I don't think we do. So, I'd like to just get a Mad Candle and forget about it. The nice thing, too, is that once we breed the Andreal, we can then make sure its gender matches up with the Mad Candle we catch here, and all will be right as rain. Man, look at that EXP. Seeing 400 every single time, or around there, oh, it's so good. So you don't need a laurel. Another short and sweet floor. Not that I'm complaining. I do gotta be careful to make sure we don't progress too far and lose out on getting the Mad Candle. Worst case, if we do, I can just jump back in and warp wing out. Slides and Medusa eyes. Based on their configuration, I think I want to toss a couple pork chops, because if Aqua uses Ice Storm or Blizzard, then ideally the Medusa Eye would be defeated last, and even having a chance to recruit it, I think is worth it, especially when it's just a pork chop. So if it happens, great. If not, not the end of the world. I won't lose sleep over it. So let's see what happens. Gulp gains a level. Very nice. And no Medusa Eye. No harm, no foul. And we will absolutely take a free elf water instead. Very nice. Let's see. More items up this way. Love water, not quite as good. do want to spend a little time here just to see if we can find another... Huh. Oh. This is a rather ideal fight, because I want both of these monsters. So, I'm going to throw the rib. If Aqua uses one of her big ice moves, Mad Candle will be it. If not, getting Medusa Eye wouldn't be bad. Oh, this is going to hurt. Yeah, 166. No kill like overkill, Aqua. And hey, we get a female Mad Candle. Very nice. Now, I think we'll just call her Mad C. That way I don't go forgetting. And let's take a look at her stats. Yeah, look at that. Level 21. Although her stats are kind of middling, barring defense, it's a pretty good level. So, I absolutely will take it. Otherwise, now I really want a floor to save on, because, well, asking you'll receive. Thank you, O Lord of the Dragon Quest world. You've certainly helped me out. A free heal and a save to boot? Ah, I couldn't have asked for anything more. Let's see, floor 6 of 15. It's not as close as I would like, but it will cement us having that Mad Candle. So that is absolutely worth it. Ooh, hello. Ice. Step guard. Thank goodness Mac has it, because this is where having it really pays off. Taking 10 damage per step is just ridiculous. It will destroy you if you're not careful. Ooh, hello, Slabbit. Aren't you cute? Get our cascades in. Because although I don't care about Gulp getting the proper personality, just because he's part, or she's part, of such a huge breeding line, I do care about Mac. Because I'm planning on keeping Mac around for a fair bit longer. We'll see, ultimately. But, at the very least, Gulp, you're fine. You can have whatever personality you like. Worst case, we'll work on your great offspring, or whatever it happens to be. Again, not terribly sure what I'm going to do with the Metal Drac. I have my ideal scenario kind of in mind, but getting there's a little foggy. So, we'll just beat up this Slabbit, call it a good day. Gosh, fast little guy. Yeah, wow, 2 dodges in a row? I think agility definitely affects hit rate. It seems pretty evident. Because the only one who's not faster than the Slabbit, or, the only one who is faster, I should say, is Aqua, and even she is still struggling to hit him. So, duly noted. For all the annoyance that fight was, the EXP is just so worth it. Plus, we'll happily take a love water. Man, talk about a floor, huh? Lots of goodies to be had. Love water, which we don't really care too much about. Some money. What are you, Mr. Bottle? Another love water. Nothing offensive. Ooh, a gang of Mad Candles. Alright. Now, to be honest, I do have more need of later Metal Dracs. So having an extra Mad Candle or 2, or, well, maybe more, depending on how I do things, wouldn't be a bad idea. Now, I don't think we'll recruit them with just a pork chop, but hey, may as well try. Frees up inventory space, if nothing else. Because with us being able to buy ribs because of the Great Tree change, ribs are kind of now the bare minimum. So, pork chops and beef jerky are kind of eh. Let's see, we don't have either of these two, so may as well give them some treats and give it the old-fashioned try. Now, realistically, with Aqua spitting Ice Storm every turn, they really don't stand much of a chance. So, kind of a victim of my own setup here. But again, they're pork chops. Who cares? Extra healing for a somewhat tough boss. Probably a good idea. Very nice. No recruitment, no problem. After all, frankly, we're doing pretty good. Already on floor, what, it'll be 9 now? Hey, 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 another heal. And that means another save. This will save me some serious time backtracking, assuming the boss isn't the gender I want. Now, I think this is the only boss actually in the game that does this, because almost all the others, like especially from the guides I've looked at and checked, they, ooh, a free sirloin, oh my, thank you kindly. But, sorry, I got distracted there. As I was saying, every guide I've looked at and all the information I've found generally state what genders each boss is. In fact, the one guide I'm primarily using and reading through states that this boss is supposed to be female. So, I think it might be a little more skewed toward that, or at the very least, that's what the person writing the guide got, or most commonly got, is my assumption. So, but just know that this boss can be male. And when I did my practice playthroughs of this area, just to really, test things and make sure, I got male the first time, and that threw me for a loop. So, being who I am, I went looking through a whole bunch of resources and just always came up with, yep, it can be either gender. Which I think all the other bosses generally are a set gender because they're specifically named. So, this is one of the weirder bosses because of that. In fact, a lot of these extra gates typically have a really weird boss gimmick like that. Like, for instance, we had, well, no, I guess Pash was kind of normal. He can kill himself by accident, but he was fairly normal. So, never mind. It just happens we found, or fought a couple of the weirder gates kind of close to each other, with Gigantus being the first meat recruitment, and this being a random gender on a boss. So, two oddities, but very worth noting. Huh. Quite the configuration. And nothing over here. We are getting steadily closer to that boss, which is great. I mean, we're making awesome time. Oh. Hello. You fellas look like you want a pork chop. Here you go. I realize with how quickly we've been beating fights, I've not been cascading at all. Oh well. Wow. Only 100 damage even with a shout. These guys must be quite resistant to ice. Which, in that case, let's see, we have a rib. Let's give him a rib. Because I figure any extra monsters we can recruit along the way probably isn't a bad thing. Alright, decent EXP. And hey, the male wind beast got up. Absolutely. Let's see, for simplicity's sake, we will simply call you Wind. Kind of a cool name all its own. And let's take a look at you. Level 22. Pretty alright stats across the board. Good agility. Ordinary. And honestly, pretty good stuff. Ice Bolt's a nice ice attack. Inframore's a wind attack. And Vacuum Slash, pretty alright physical attack. You could do a lot worse. Perhaps you'll be used as breeding fodder later. Hey, a shop, alright. Let's take a look here. I want to keep our sirloin, because that is just so good. But, really, I don't need the mist staff, so I'll sell that. And I mean, honestly, we have so many love waters. Get rid of a couple of those. Everything else, though, I think I like. What I like more is that this will mean we're only, what? We'll be on floor 13, so we'll have 3 mysticals to find before we hit the boss. That's pretty much as close as I could have asked for, to be honest. So, I will take it. Ooh! Pork chop, thank you kindly. And a rib, awesome. I will say, now that we have confirmed kept that sirloin, thanks to our save, that brings up a rather devious thing that I might want to go do. Knowing that Slab is going to breed quite soon and have probably a +3 or +4 offspring, we're going to need a mate for that. And unfortunately, the ideal mate is going to be another base slime. Now the problem with this is that that base slime is going to be, in fact, a base slime with horrible stats, no abilities, not a whole lot going on. So I'm trying to think of the best way of going about getting another one and then breeding that one up. I think what we might do is maybe we'll come back here or one of the other stronger gates. Catch like a Slabbit or maybe even a tree slime or something. Breed that with the other basic slime we try to catch with our sirloin. And then breed that with Slab's offspring. I think it's a good idea. What's also good is Mac hits level 17. He gains 10 HP, 2 MP, 6 attack, 2 defense, 10 agility, 3 intelligence. Very nice. Love water, nothing crazy. But yeah, I've been thinking about that for a while. I'm like, I think I do need another basic slime for what we are currently planning on doing. I don't know if that's true, but I believe that it is. So, worst case, we'll figure it out and make it work. I just know that, generally speaking, you need at least a sirloin to recruit them. And them having such low HP means that you generally don't have time to feed them anything more than just a sirloin. So, depending on how much time we have today, maybe we'll go do that as well. As you can see, there's quite a bit of micromanaging your monsters and breeding and trying to consider things for the future. It's a lot. But we'll see how it all plays out. And I tell you, those guys are resilient. Again, 434 EXP, you really can't complain. Let's see, is this the final floor? I wasn't keeping track. No, second to last floor. Alright. Got a nice big one. Means we will use map magic. In fact, you know what I should do? We haven't used one of our warp staves yet. It just warps you to a mystical. So, you use it like so, and voila, you're right there. Super convenient. I try to keep those for later, but it's nice having them. And, well, this is strange. The wizard normally warps you, but we're on the final floor. What will you do, old man? I'm sickened, but curious. let's... Let's see what other items are on the floor. And then, perhaps, we'll fight an old man and see what he does. My guess is that he'll just warp us to the final floor. But if not, maybe he'll just do nothing? I guess I don't really know. I can't say that I think I've ever encountered a wizard on the final floor. Maybe I have, but if so... Oh gosh, I must have been maybe like 12? Some younger age that I'm not anymore. Love water, alright. I mean, looks good enough to me. We have some pork chops and a rib we can just hand out if we want to try to steal a monster, so sure. Yep, we know you're a wizard. Let's see what you got. Not what I expected a wizard would have for monsters, but you know what? I'll still try to take them anyway. Now, of these, I don't really have any specific plans for needing any of them, so I guess if we get something cool, and if not, freed up inventory space. I figure it's a win-win. It looks like Aqua just does not care about letting them live, so fair enough. Wow, they actually do some decent damage, all things considered. I'll give him a rib, just to really try to sweeten the deal. Singular Ice Slash. Ooh, they dodge. Well, mayhaps this last crab will get another pork chop. I mean, frankly, he dodged a Ice Slash, so apparently he likes the treats and wants more. Now, whether or not we recruit him, it's yet to be seen. But hey, if so, cool. Goodbye, Dark Crab number 1. And hey, 1011 EXP. I'll happily take that. Alright, no recruits. Alright, let's see this power of yours then. It does just take us to the final floor. Alright, I kind of figured that's what it did, but how goofy. Now, before we get things started, yeah, we got plenty of love water to go around. Let's heal up a bit. And for this boss, I want to change our plan to charge, cautious, and charge. Let's also look at your map. You are a hot blood. Excellent. We also got Gulp to Ordinary. Pretty good. So yeah, we should be more than fine. So, are you ready for a test of character? Simply walk on up and... Hey! What are you doing? That's my monster! There's a voice coming from out of nowhere.
Hello, the traveler over there. I'm the spirit of this spring. Your companion fell in the spring. Would you like me to help your companion?
Yes, frankly. That would be nice.
Now, wait there.
Alright.
Was it this meat that fell in the spring?
No. Unless the spring is boiling hot and cooked aqua, I don't think that's her, so, no.
I see. Now, wait a moment for me.
Well, sure. No, I don't think that's quite right either.
Now, is this the old guy who fell in the spring?
I mean, okay, strictly speaking, he is an old guy who does appear to have fell in the spring. Is it our monster? No. Unless, again, your spring's magic and turned Aqua into some old dude. No.
I see. Now, wait a minute for me.
Sure. I mean, look, you're 0 for 2. Maybe third time's the try? Well, hey, that looks much better.
Now, is this the Blizzardy, the monster that fell in the spring?
Absolutely.
You're honest. I'll give you back the monster that fell in the spring. And because you are honest, I'll give you a Digster if you can defeat it.
Well, that's one way to earn a boss fight. So yes, say hello to our boss. I'll be honest, it does two things. It can defend itself, and you suck all. It does usually around 40 to 50 damage, give or take. Case in point. And that's kinda it. So, it's a really simple fight that honestly you can kinda just mash A for and be done. This is also why I wanted to save MP, is because it doesn't really take a ton of physical damage, so having magic is really nice. Yeah, this boss can be male or female. It's random. So I'm hoping for a female for my current plan, but if it's a male, luckily we have a save real close, we can reset, come right back, easy as pie. Yeah, because it doesn't have any multi-targeting abilities, it's a pretty easy boss. So long as you don't get randomly crit out of nowhere, or, you know, your healer runs out of MP, or some other catastrophic event occurs, you'll probably deal with this boss relatively easily. Relatively easily. So, I usually do this gate as soon as I can, just because I know this boss is who's waiting for me. I know relatively how much damage they'll deal, and I know they don't have any skills that are scary. There's good monsters, good items, generally short floors. It's kind of the whole package. I mean, seriously. The only issue is that the fight is longer than it needs to be, admittedly. Like, we've, what, been doing this for how many turns? With me just kind of mashing A and... Yeah. Yeah, by the way, a 15 damage critical hit. Strong defense can do some work. Now, look, frankly, I don't like ever relying on it on our monsters. I'd rather just deal damage or, you know, heal a status or heal the party or do almost anything else, really. But hey, sometimes defensive skills can be nice. This is also the other reason that this fight kinda drags on, is because it can just decide to take at most like 10 to 20 damage a turn. And I think it has about 1,000 health. So it having that much HP means you can be here for a while. I mean, we've been fighting it for so long, I've kind of ran out of things to say about it. Now, I guess I could mention that as a kid, I thought the eyes were in the middle, or like, I guess the left of it, toward where the antenna are coming out, and I thought it was like, you know, armored and kind of like a hat. No, the eyes are those big balls that are to the right, that are like underneath the arc of the rightmost antenna. Yeah, this thing's official art is goofy looking. It looks a lot scarier here. But hey, a female Digster got up and is looking at us. Perfect. So the other thing too that I think leads to the reason why, you know, most people believe it should be female is that its name is Ebby, which seems like a female name. So I get it. So Ebby, come along. And here's the other reason I like coming here immediately. Not only have we, you know, all the benefits I've mentioned before, but Ebby herself is level 45 with very good stats across the board. Maybe not for her level compared to like what we have, but she has stats to spare and everything but agility, will earn a minimum of +2 on breeding, has a pretty good personality, and, well, her skills are, well, they leave a lot to be desired, to be honest, but still, a darn good monster, all things considered.
You did well. Please go back to your home world.
You know, mysterious voice of the lake, you're no Wadabo, but you're a friend in my book.
Well done, Terry. You defeated Bigster. What? You heard a voice? Are you okay? Did you bump your head?
Oh, okay.
Well, Terry, are you talking to the people of my kingdom? I heard there's a man called the Metal Man in the village. He likes tiny metals. Why don't you bring them to him? I'm busy. You're dismissed. Busy.
Well, about that, King, we've been trying, but we've not really found all that many. It's kind of a luck thing, so, kind of not a whole lot we can do about that. It is what it is. Now, otherwise, too, from that ordeal, honestly, got some pretty darn good stuff, all things considered. Got some decent levels for, I think, everyone but Aqua, which, hey, fine in my book. Gulp is also getting up there in level, and I want to check on Dran. Hello, Julio. Let's take a look here. Dran is level 16. Because I'd like for the Andreal to get +2, but it's really not the end of the world. I mean, their stats aren't going to be great regardless of what I do. Also, too, what else do we have? We have a Bug, 2 Beasts, Slab, who's level 19, which is good, Cress, who's a Dragon, Aqua, obviously, Lava Man, which, while they are a material, I want to save them for later. If you get a Lava Man or Ice Man, please do yourself a favor and save them. Wing is level 16, huh? Again, I kind of want Wing and Slab both to be around level 20 before breeding, so I might have to personally work on Wing. And I imagine if I do that, Slab will hit level 20 by doing so that should work out. Ant is, for all that work, level 15. To be fair, he is a hot blood by default, with good HP and attack, and he is abysmal, but, well, what are you gonna do? That's why, also, too, I really wanted Ebby to be female, is because if we breed her with Ant, she'll really help all the other stats a lot. The only one that'll really suffer is agility, which, I mean, hey, for a first breeding pair, you could do a lot worse, all things considered. So still, that's pretty good. Mac is doing, honestly, pretty phenomenal. Been super happy with him. Rex, you're also pretty good. You do come with Metal Cut, which honestly, that would be a really good idea to breed onto something later. So, I could see that happening. Gulp, obviously, we're working on. I forgot about Slug completely. We have our Mad Candle and Wind Beast, who is notably a beast. Alright. Also, man, look at that EXP on Evie. That is ridiculous. Man, if I went that far and these were the stats I got, holy moly, would I be mad. Still, we'll take it. So yeah, honestly, we're looking pretty good, all things considered. I think next time we play Dragon Warrior Monsters, we're gonna try to get a bunch of breeding done. Maybe. Kinda depends. Because, I would like to get our third party member more properly back. Though, to be fair, that's kind of the nature of the game, isn't it? Swapping out party members constantly, not really ever getting too attached to anyone. It's the only sad part of the game. But hey, it is what it is. So, as always, I'm Fred. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.